This video is a review of sorts to share my final thoughts on the LOTD Plus guide after making the Kazarg series and playing with the guide setup for several hundred hours. The guide was originally an offshoot of Lexi's LOTD guide, but it continues to evolve into its own unique mod collection. You can currently find it at the link here, and its creator, Evertiro, also has a Discord server, which you can find via the same link. Evertiro and his team are doing great work, and they're always willing to answer questions and help with your guide install. So, first things first, regardless of my personal opinion on the mods included in the guide, the LOTD Plus guide totally delivers on its promise. It is a complete Skyrim game overhaul, and it provides a stable playing platform. The guide is being actively maintained, and it has evolved from the version I installed back in April of 2020. My version contained 639 mods with 582 plugins. Many of them merged or ESLified to keep it below the 250 plugin limit. It took me about 34 hours to install the guide from scratch, and that included the mod download time and using a methodical approach, meaning I didn't just rush through the guide blindly. I read every word, sometimes multiple times, and I paused to double check on things that I was not sure about. So, what's my personal opinion of the guide? Well, I certainly throw no shade at the guide itself or its development team. They have done a phenomenal job putting this monster together, and they really know their stuff. But with that said, I won't be using the guide for my Skyrim setup anymore, and that it's based entirely on personal preference of what I want my game to be. I'm one of those people who finds the simplicity of vanilla Skyrim to be charming in its own right. I don't really want more complex crafting systems, or more challenging combat, or vastly changed world spaces. Plus, I like to play around with different mods, and even make some very simple mods of my own, and I don't feel like I can do that freely with this setup because of the compatibility challenges. The guide delivers a complete game overhaul, and it does that extremely well. It touches basically every aspect of the game. Visuals all over the world, including landscapes, flora, fauna, clutter, etc., NPC visuals, player character visuals, skill trees, races, and classes. It makes significant changes to the world, completely overhauls combat and all of the crafting systems, lighting and effects, weather, the magic system, factions like the Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, and companions. I can't think of a single part of the game that isn't modified in some way, with the aim of making it better. But of course, better is subjective. And for me, it turns out that I really didn't want a total game overhaul. I really just want my vanilla game enhanced, and I'd like to have more choice in which mods I want and which mods I don't want. So I guess if there's one drawback to installing the guide, it's that you can't really choose to leave any mods out or add any other mods in unless you really know what you're doing and you are able to figure out the compatibility issues yourself. And I'm just not that good at modding yet, and there are too many mods I would want to leave out, so it doesn't really make sense for me to use the guide setup even as a base. So my overall recommendation is 100% go for it if you're looking for a complete game overhaul. I'm not sure it gets any better than the LOTD Plus guide. It's complete, it's stable, it has an active development team, and a Discord server full of patient people who will help answer questions about your install. If you are just looking to enhance your game, but you generally like the relatively simple mechanics of vanilla Skyrim, then the guide may be a bridge too far, and you're probably better off creating your own custom mod setup. Now with that said, I'm certainly not sorry that I tried the LOTD Plus guide. I learned a lot in the process, and it introduced me to a number of mods that I'd been curious to try, plus some mods that I had never heard of that will likely become staples in my future setup.
He's a good man and a
So I'm super grateful to Evertiro and his team, and I'm looking forward to watching as they continue to develop the guide and take it to the next level, which I think will include the creation of some new mods entirely from scratch. For now, even though I won't be using the guide, I plan to remain a friendly face in their Discord, and I wish them the best of success as the team continues working hard to make our beloved Skyrim an even more spectacular playground. Thanks for coming along with me on this journey with Kazarg, and a special thank you to my subscribers, those of you who are new and came on board during the series, and those of you who have patiently been taking this whole YouTube journey with me for a bit longer. I hope you've all enjoyed Kazarg's series, and I hope that maybe you've also discovered a new mod or two to try. I'm not completely settled on what I'll tackle next, but it will almost certainly include some more modding adventures as I work to redo my mod setup for Skyrim SE. In the meantime, stay safe and be kind, and I'll see you later. Bye.